because there's so many opportunities, there's money waiting out there, we just have to help the family go get the money. Systemic change, environment to start to grow, then we just kept stretching. We stretched it to the dental project. Every child's going to get access to the Healthy Smiles Ontario dental. We stretched it to help for adults to get access to dental, to the recreational program. Kids are going to get access through the Jump Start money. There's $600 waiting for them. In every region's different, but in Halton, the children can get access to up to $800 annually to sign up for swimming. So that's $1,400 just waiting for the families, but if they're not aware of it and they don't have anybody helping them to get access, they're just going to miss out. We have a Halton Fresh food box program, and so the home visits is the core of the ministry, but we also participate in the Halton Fresh food box. Every month the families come in for just a beautiful assortment of fresh fruits and vegetables. But we've used that as an opportunity to create a hub. So we welcome over 100 families into the church once a month. We have something for them to eat. They can sit down and they chat with us, but we also invite community partners in so they can meet them face to face. We have had the Goodwill Employment Center, we have the town of Oakville recreational people. We invite anybody that can come in, because we can say to someone, oh, here's a brochure, and we don't refer unless we've met them, that we can say we've met so-and-so, you can trust them, they will do their best to help. But if they can meet face to face with somebody, it just, that connection really helps.
Excuse me, do you provide the food box, or they have to pay their $15, like the cost of it?
Yeah, in our region, if you're on Ontario Works, it is covered.
Oh.
So it's really our advantage. We do pay for the ODS if you're on ODSP,
Okay.
and we just fundraise for those boxes.
How do you access the people in need? Or do they come to you, or when you talk about home visits, are those people that maybe the priest would have referred to you, or you would have?
Yeah, how the ministry's grown. Sometimes, well, the St. Vincent Paul conferences are in the booklet where to get help in Halton. So they may have noticed it there, or their neighbor, like we have a large housing complex, so someone new moves in and their neighbor may notice they're struggling and said, you should call the church. Or they could just call the church
So they
directly.
come to you then?
They do come to us,
Basically, they
yeah.
always come to you.
Yeah.
You're not going out seeking people in need. I mean, your neighbors are kind of looking, or the
Yeah.
neighbors are.
Or the
aware.
schools may refer to, because they really, they'll notice, so, yeah.
I was very troubled by us never seeking and finding forgotten people. And so there was no community volunteer tax clinic in my little town. So we started one, and it did attract new members. We managed to teach maybe one person each year. We're going into our 7th year in 2019. To actually say, this is really easy to do on the computer. And now we have people who said, I tried it myself this year, but something messed up, and so they come to us, and people started to come out of the woodwork that had never called St. Vincent de Paul. We're now in the nursing homes where they're, if you want to find forgotten people,
Yeah, that's
just
huge.
go into the nursing homes. People are stuck there. No family members nearby, no documents. I busted my ass to get some really good volunteers who can just create a My Service Canada account and do the work. It's the
And you
only
know what?
systemic change project that I have been able to dream up where we go and find
Yes.
the forgotten people. instead
Yeah, the
of
tax
waiting
clinics,
for them.
the filing your taxes are the gateway into all of your benefits, so that's very, very important there. So, just wanted to say, you learn to move forward with a systemic change culture by actually doing systemic change projects together. And the projects became a catalyst for attracting new volunteers with skills and abilities to move the projects forward. So we're trying to engage and organize the skills, talents, gifts, and knowledge of the volunteers around structured projects for the benefit of the families. So, I think
Most of mine did not become full members of the society.
and that's okay too, you know.
They're
we
always
have an-
there,
We have an
always there for
auxiliary,
us.
you can always use the auxiliary
You got it.
member category, and you've gotta welcome, be flexible, and figure out the best way to use people's skills and talents for the benefit. So the takeaway, you can see and capitalize on opportunities when you're prayerful, positive people of possibilities. So says Judas t-shirt, so.
So we're trying to live that message. So just at the council level, if you remember, we had a situation where there was not much working together, not much communicating. So the main two focuses to start with, the spiritual focus is always really, really key. That's something that we wanted to make sure was first and foremost, so we make sure we have a spiritual advisor at the council level. And one thing we did as well was to start up a monthly holy hour attendance. So one of our churches has one every first Friday. We go to the mass, we stay for an hour afterwards, and we gather. There's a few Vincentians that get together. We invite all the membership, that'd be 150, but we don't get 150, not yet. But we get about 3 or 4, and we gather, and we say the rosary together. We pray for the families we serve. We pray for St. Vincent de Paul, our ministry, and we pray for the leaders for the Ontario, but we also pray for new members to come forward. And that has started, and right next door to the church is a wonderful coffee shop, so we pop there afterwards for a chat and networking. So that is a great way, and that I really feel as though has been fruitful.
May I interject there for a second? So one of the issues seems to be that although there's a little bit of a spiritual focus in a council meeting, because there will be a spiritual advisor, and it's only brief at the beginning maybe of the meeting, we're finding it very difficult to find a way to percolate that down to the conference level so that there's also a spiritual focus, not just the quick prayer card at the beginning of the meeting, but maybe even a spiritual advisor that moves from council and visits the various conferences. Because you seem to have predicated the whole talk on the very first thing that made a big difference was getting that focus back on the spiritual and the spiritual.
I think where you don't have the spiritual focus in focus, that's where you're going to get politics, you're going to get arguments, people are going to be, and including everyone, going to be more focused on ourselves and less on the families. And so when we focus back spiritually, we're back on what the mission is, what the values are, and the families. And it does help, and you'll see with the impacts when I talk about that in a moment. So those things that have been put in place, worth doing, and feeding through, going on a home visit and making sure you pray before you go in. Those are really key things. If we drop all those things, that's where trouble starts creeping in. So just moving forward, communication. That was a really key piece for us in the council. So, we encourage all the members, to link into famvin.com. Famvin.com, that you can get a little email that drops into your email at 8 o'clock every morning. The value of having all our members see a little quote from St. Vincent de Paul every morning at 8 o'clock, that you feel as though you're part of something. Again, we can suggest that. We hope that many people will do that. We're finding that they're gradually starting to get a little bit more team focused, so that we're doing similar things with a similar mindset. When I first became a council president, as I'm sure you all did, you kind of communicated with your presidents and find out what's going on, what are the challenges you're facing. They all said, we have a problem getting new members. And the succession planning and who's going to take over from me. So that was a real focus for us. So what we did was we made sure that at every council meeting, we started to talk about recruitment. The key volunteer cycle: recruitment, engagement, training, and retaining our members. It starts with recruitment. And we talked about ways and successes that we could do that. Address to congregation is key. When the pastor says yes, you go for it, because that's the way to draw attention to our ministry. And so we focused on recruitment, but we didn't just do it. We talked about it in the meetings. We invited conversation, we celebrated successes, and we talked about the challenges of that. So also, we encourage the presidents to invite other people to attend the meetings. And we continue to do that. I'm not saying we've got the answers to everything. It's a work in progress, but these are the focuses we have. Try and invite somebody who hasn't come. And just recently, maybe we've suggested that perhaps in a group of 12 members, maybe each meeting could be somebody else throughout the year. I'll take the May meeting. I'll take the June meeting, because I don't usually go to a particular council meeting. But if I go to one in the year and I can come back and share to my conference members, maybe that's one way, and then I see what's happening outside of the conference. So encouraging people to attend and making sure the dialogue in the meetings is greater. It becomes more of a forum, and you are learning about what's going on in other conferences and the breaking down of the silos. It's really important. And the relationships build. We've started to have name tags. We started to have a coffee break in the middle of the meeting. Right in the middle, when we're getting going, we say, right, we're going to stop. Everyone stand up, go get coffee, and surprise, surprise, conversations start. They introduce themselves to people, and that's good, because everyone's learning. We're all learning from each other. And not only that, we invite speakers to the meetings. We talk about new resources, as Linda was explaining. If those 12, now we're 12 conferences, thankfully, if we've got 12 conferences that are not sharing what they've learned and resources. So the other day we were in a meeting, and we did our black bag, which we're now going to change to, we do a black bag collection, as I'm sure you will do. Instead of previously giving that money to the church to pay for the beautiful cookies and cakes, which we have all enjoyed. Last time we went to St. Vincent de Paul, Etobicoke, and Toronto, and we bought a bed for a family. So that black bag has now created a bed for somebody to sleep on. Why did we didn't think of this before, I don't know.
And reinforced to all the conferences, if someone needs a bed,
Yeah.
that's the program.
So that resource that we did all know about, but it wasn't as prominent in everyone's minds, we've shared that resource. So if you want somebody to be on a proper bed because they're sleeping on the floor, there is a way of doing it, and it's not expensive. So it's sharing resources, etc. The website has been enhanced tenfold, and the person who is doing it he loves his job. He's doing a great job. It's become a tool for us, so you can see resources there and everything. So we also just focused on just kind of stretching the volunteers to think a little bit more outside of charity, a little bit beyond, so that we can start to talk to each other, learn, but always the focus: recruitment, engage, retrain, and train.
And make St. Vincent de Paul dynamic.
Yes. Thank you. You can fire questions as we go, but we've got a little bit of a time thing, so we'll keep going, Linda.
Yeah, okay. Side the families toward healthier, more sustainable condition. And there's a much more openness to a systemic change approach to serving. And we're embracing the systemic change projects because we can see the benefits to the families and children. And that just begs the question, what would Blessed Frederick Ozanam do? And that's what he would do. The opportunities to interact with the families also grew. We keep expanding that home fresh food box, the number of projects grow, and there's also just a positive energy in the ministry. That comes back to the PPPOP, Prayerful Positive People of Possibility. The financial capacity support continues to grow. Every time we grow the awareness in the congregation, the school, and the community, the potential for the conference keeps growing. And these concentric circles of support start growing. We have the core member circle, then we created an event member circle. If anybody's ever signed up once to help with anything, we have their name on an email, we ask them permission, and that's 130 people, so that's a circle around that circle. And we're hoping in time, people on the events, they're going to move into the core. And then each volunteer created their own circle of support. Like I have over 100 emails that I reach out. Judith has grown her circle. So it's just, once you can tap into that multiplier effect, we just keep increasing volunteer financial and prayer support. And we have a gradual and steady